Welcome back to Cocktails and Classics. I'm Dylan. Joining me, as always, is Ben.
Hello.
And this week, we're doing one of my favorite kind of episodes. This week, we watched Superman, the 2025 film that just came out, directed by James Gunn. And these are my favorite kind of episodes because I get to just crack my beer, sit back, and let Ben, the comic book nerd, just go ham on this one. And
Oh man. Let me preface this
um,
by saying I speak for no other nerds. These are my opinions and my opinions only.
uh, obviously neither of us had seen this film just released, um, but boy, I was so excited for this one. And I don't, not for any particular reason. Like, I'm not one of those people who's like a big James Gunn stan. I don't think he's like one of the greatest directors ever, but like, I liked Guardians. I liked what he did with the Suicide Squad, or the Suicide Squad. I don't know which one it is. Um, the not Will Smith one. Uh, and I feel like he has just like one of the best like origin stories in film, where it's like I just was really looking for a summer job, and I got the chance to write Tromeo and Juliet, and have just worked my way up and written some pure dog shit and just some real just some real campy stuff. And you know he's done a little bit of everything, I feel like, because he did part of movie 43, he did Super, we did Slither, he wrote Dawn of the Dead remake, uh
He
did
wrote
the
Scooby Doo.
Scooby-Doo.
Yeah, his Scooby Doo. Fun fact: originally, I think was supposed to be like R rated. It was supposed to be a very adult version of Scoob, like not like
That would
an
be
an
interesting.
XXX version, but I think it was supposed to be more geared towards adults. Where like
Mm.
the murder mystery in that they were solving was more actual murder, less of like guy in a
Like
costume. People are
violent.
just trapped. Yeah, I think there was supposed to be more colorful language.
Yeah, I like his, I want to say, maybe it's just because of like the way they did it in Superman, but like his like punk rock approach to the filmmaking. And obviously he seems like he's a good guy to work for, because he brings back all his buddies like every time he makes a movie, like
He
Nathan
seems like one of
Fillion's
those
and like
guys where his movies just probably seem like fun.
fun to be on set and
Yeah,
in. Yeah.
like he seems like he likes to foster a nice like fun like atmosphere for his projects.
And so I know you're excited because you're a big comic guy. You've been talking
What?
about this movie for a couple months now.
Me?
So yeah, so that was like when the movie came out, I was like, let's try and do this for the podcast. We haven't been to the movies in quite some time. I'm sure I haven't been. I went last year at some point to watch Snack Shack in theaters because my friends had worked on it. But before that, it's like 2021 ish, 2022 maybe. I
Avatar
hadn't been to the
2.
movie in years.
Avatar 2 was the last movie I saw in theaters before this.
Okay, and honestly, I had a good theater experience. I It was my own fault. I showed up late to to the movie, um, because I was like, oh, it's gonna take like 25 minutes for the previews. They weren't that long, um, and so uh, I get there. I'm a cheap ass, so I'm not gonna buy my ticket online. What, in the year 2025 of our Lord, why is there a convenience fee? How is that convenient for anyone? I'm not gonna pay $3, $4 extra to get my ticket online. I'll walk up to the ticket office. They don't use the ticket office anymore. It's like now it's like walk up to the concession stand to buy your tickets. Okay, cool. Glad we have these ticket offices just sitting out here empty. In 2012, 2013, when we went to the rave in Ypsilanti, they had the computers where you could do the tickets yourself. Why doesn't every theater have that these days?
Yeah,
But
it's kind of weird.
this,
Uh, I did mine online because mine didn't charge me a
you also
convenience
didn't
fee
go.
to
I
do
went at
it.
like 1 p.m. on a Saturday. Like
And
that theater wasn't full.
I mean, I went on a Wednesday night, so it wouldn't have been full for me
Oh,
either.
all right. Well,
Uh, but well, when I picked my tickets, the theater was empty. By the time the movie started, it had filled up a lot more than I thought it would for a Wednesday at like 7:30. I was
yeah.
shocked. Um, but yeah, I it's kind of weird that I mean, I get it. You got to have staff to run it.
I guess, and maybe they get more sales at the concessions if they like
And
push you to go to it. But I did get free popcorn. I guess they're
oh, nice.
refurbishing the theater, and so they were like, today only, buy a ticket, get free popcorn. And I was like, hey, is that a thing? And they're like, yeah, fuck yeah. Because I had talked to Hannah before, and I don't want to buy concessions because they're so expensive. She's like, yeah, don't do it. And then I got free popcorn. I was like, fuck yeah.
Oh,
Um,
see, you and I are very different because my wife immediately was like, "You're going to the movies, so I know you're going to get popcorn and a drink." And I was like, "You're damn right. I've been to them. This is my first time going to the movies in like 3 years. I think I can. I
this
think I
is
can
a
let myself have it.
popcorn flick.
I think I can allow myself a quick treat. So,
uh, I mean, it probably would have killed me to not have the popcorn because I am such a popcorn guy. Like
oh,
I got like
same.
the big thing. I got the thing from Costco where it's like the 40 pack or whatever. Like, oh man,
Oh,
big
I told my
big
wife
popcorn guy.
I gotta look and just get like that. What is it like the Flava Call or whatever, just so I can make
The like
better
fake
like
butter.
yeah, the stuff that makes your popcorn when you make it at home actually tastes like movie theater popcorn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Superman 2025 is how I'm going to address this movie. Um, is a film directed by and written by James Gunn. It stars David Corenswet, Rachel Bos, oh god,
Brosnahan?
Brosnahan, Nicholas Holt, Edie Gathegi, Anthony Kerrigan, Nathan Fillion, Isabella Merced, and I would like to say, as someone who showed up late to the movie, I was fucking confused at the beginning of the movie because I was like, how much did I? I literally missed like the first minute and a half. I was like, how much did I miss? He's already at the fortress and he's getting help from the robots. Like, what the fuck is happening? I was like, damn, did I show up like 10 minutes late? How am I gonna watch the intro to this movie now? I was able to look up a clip at the beginning, like the intro scene. That's like literally the first 4 minutes of the movie on YouTube, and I was like, oh, I literally missed basically just him crashing. Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
I really enjoyed that part though. Like I like that they just get you right into it. The other thing I loved is, and this is a thing that I feel like superhero movies are kind of realizing now, is that like you don't have to kill Uncle Ben every fucking time you show the movie. Like you don't have
I
to. Jonathan doesn't have to die.
had
Like
that
you don't have to explain to me that
conversation.
Lois Lane and Clark Kent are together. Like you just show it that it's already happened. They're together. Like I'm like, yeah, cool.
I had this conversation with someone and I put it as I was glad to see that we didn't need the full origin story. And not just for Superman, but like we had the conversation last week. Peek behind the curtain. We recorded last week's episode like 2 or 3
3 days ago,
days ago.
before I had seen
So
the Superman. So
we had the conversation kind of about the sometimes it's okay to tell me and not show me, right?
mm-hmm.
I loved that they were when we meet Guy Gardner
Mm-hmm.
and he's kind of talking and he says something about I can't remember what exactly they're talking about, but he goes, "Hey, the Guardians of Oa didn't give me this ring so I could do yada yada yada." And it was just like, "Oh, that's pretty much all you need to know about the backstory of Green Lantern. He was given a power
Yeah.
ring by the Guardians of Oa." there you go, man.
Yeah.
We're in. I was like, cool. Just you can tell the general audience, Mr. Terrific. We didn't tell anyone shit about Michael
Yeah,
Holt.
we don't know anything about Mr. Terrific.
We just let that
Hawk
guy
Girl.
roll.
We just
It's like,
yeah.
all right, cool. I guarantee you his books are about to fly off the fucking shelves.
Yeah. I
If
mean
DC
even I
doesn't
mean
launch a new series for Mr. Terrific, they're out of their freaking minds because it would be the biggest cash cow they'd have right now.
yeah, and I feel like Lex Luthor, we don't get an origin story, but I feel like he's like one of those characters that you don't need it. He's a billionaire. He's evil, which
Yeah.
I think something I read online, which I agree with, was like Nicholas Holt's Lex Luthor he's just evil. Like he is just a bona fide pure hater with his own evil agenda. I feel like sometimes one of the things that superhero movies kind of have missed out on lately is like, and especially like the other Superman movies kind of, is just like, it's like they're bad, but they're not like this Lex Luthor is just fucking hates Superman. Like literally all of his plot is to kill Superman, and then oh.
Go ahead, finish your thought. Finish your thought, because I appreciated something about Lex Luthor. So go ahead, finish that. He hates
No,
Superman and
go
what?
ahead. No, go ahead. Give
No,
me
no, no,
nerd. Go
no.
ahead.
He hates Superman and what? And what? He wants his own. He wants his own country. He wants his own set of land, his own real estate, if you would. Lex Luthor real estate scam. Run it back. Let's go. No one else caught that? Just me? Just me? I was the only one fanboying when it was came out that it was like he wants his own land. He's gonna name it like Lextopia, and I'm like,
Yeah.
that's literally Hackman. That is a Hackman thing. Yeah. Yeah, everyone was just like, oh, he's just a bad guy who hates Superman and who wants to invest in a real estate scheme. I will say that the
Oh,
thing I liked about Nicholas Holt's Lex Luthor 2 is that, so for anyone who's not super familiar with the comic books, there's a stretch, I can't remember when exactly it was. Originally, Lex Luthor was just kind of a generic evil scientist character, and then he kind of went into this billionaire businessman kind of thing, and then for a while he was president of the United States in the comic book world. This Lex Luthor is one I could see running for president, especially in today's political climate. I think they did kind of a good job of even showing that with Michael Ian Black's character, where Michael Ian
oh my
Black is kind
god.
of like the Tucker Carlson, Jesse Waters, where it's just like, oh, you're rich and you're gonna give me money. Superman is evil. So I definitely could see his character being like the Lex Luthor who gets out of prison and then is just like, no, 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 I'm good. And now I'm going to run for president.
Fiction echoes reality. Well, I guess our president never went to prison. He's just a convicted felon. But
Reality
um,
echoes fiction because Lex Luthor did it first. Although,
uh,
as
I
bad
didn't
as Lex
realize
Luthor is, not an Epstein pedophile.
not a PDF file.
I'm just saying, you check those flight logs, you won't see Lex Luthor's name anywhere. Wasn't there.
I didn't realize that Eve, the girlfriend, is like Mrs. Or Miss Teschmacher from like the original Superman.
Yeah,
Superman. I didn't realize like that
and
was like who
uh,
that was.
uh, the heavy set black guy is supposed to be Otis that works for Luthor. So when he sends
The
the
one
two guys
that's
to let loose the kaiju, and it's like the
yeah,
heavier
yeah,
black
yeah,
guy and the guy, I don't know the guy with the mustache.
yeah, like the nerdy white guy, and then like the black guy who like kind of runs the whole operation in the control room.
Yeah. So he's supposed to be Otis,
Okay.
the kind of bumbling henchman.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out what else this guy's been in because I he looked kind of familiar, but not really, and I'm thinking it's just because he's another one of those guys that's in a bunch of James Gunn stuff. Like, I'll be honest, I went to look at the cast because we kind of talked about this. outside of what was like really announced, I didn't do a ton of digging as to who was where or what was going on.
Yeah.
So like I didn't realize like Alan Tudyk was the voice of the Gary the robot.
Yeah. Well, I
Michael
also see
Rooker,
that Michael Rooker is one of them as well.
Palm Clementif. I had no idea. Um,
Bradley Cooper, I didn't know it was going to be Jor-El.
I will say there was one actor I heard was cast, and there was pictures of him with the cast and everything else, but I didn't see him in the movie, and that was Kumail Nanjiani.
Hmm. Is
So
he
I don't know, maybe
is he credited anywhere?
no, he's not. That's why I was
Interesting.
kind of confused. Yeah, it was just there was kind of that list of usual suspects though. You picked up with Sean Gunn being there, Nathan Fillion.
I was waiting for
Uh,
his cameo, just the whole movie, and then it was just like the stupidest little
well, when
like.
they announced he was going to be playing uh, Maxwell Lord, there was a big stink because Maxwell Lord in the DC universe was like a big character. So we'll kind of see how that works.
I was
He
gonna say
was
he might end up.
in the same role where he's kind of like the financier for uh one of the Justice League groups. Um and then later, big comic book spoiler for people, later he kills Blue Beetle and subsequently has his neck snapped by Wonder Woman. Just full.
Oh wow. Well, I think is is Blue Beetle still a part of the DC universe, or is that wiped? I th-
I don't know. It would be it would be a different Blue Beetle um in the comic books, but it's a lot. That's a lot to get into, and I don't want to go through the whole history of the DC universe. I've got my DC
I'm
encyclopedia if we need it,
well,
but
I'm
I
trying to
don't want to
think
have to
about like
bust it
what
out.
I want to know what is and what isn't part of this
No,
James Gunn universe.
I believe from what I understand, Blue Beetle was the last of the DC EU.
Mm.
And I believe Gunn said peace like I don't know how they're designated from Suicide Squad to the Suicide Squad, what they're keeping, what they're not. I know James Gunn has came forward and said that there's uh parts of season 1 of Peacemaker that are canon, parts of it that are not going to be canon. Um
Hey, he was in there. That was a cute cameo.
yeah, that was kind of cool to see John Cena just playing Peacemaker randomly. But I thought that was cool as just like a as a fan of comic books and comic book movies, it was kind of like when you had in the Spider-Man Homecoming when like it was the Captain America doing the PSA. I'm like, that's cool. Like that's I like the fact that they're just showing these characters do all exist in this universe without
Yeah,
needing to make him a focal point. Like
yeah,
I'm good with that. That is cool. I love it. I love the fact that this movie stands alone and you didn't need to see anything else to be a part of it. That
yeah.
was great to me.
And the other thing I want to talk about, I feel like, is we kind of it's kind of been this whole kerfuffle and whatever about like Superman's woke and it's an immigrant story, blah blah blah. But like the fact that this Superman is, I just want to say so much Superman. I don't know, like it it's the I mean maybe it's like the golden age. I don't know. I don't know too much about the comics, but like this like he is so bent on everyone must survive, and like he doesn't care about like sure there's some property damage, but he tries to save everyone as much as possible. And I think that is one of the things that to me is Superman. Like I mean, I like Batman. I think is one of those ones where he's like, well, I don't kill, but his moral compass and like the verge is very like he tiptoes the line almost. I feel like with Batman sometimes, but like Superman, I feel like to me, Superman has always kind of been like the most wholesome of the superheroes, and I know there is a lot of ones where he's not, but but like
It's so it is hard to take. I mean, Superman's got 4 years left before he hits public domain. Or no, is it 14? I guess it would be 14 maybe. I can't remember what the rule is. Is it 100 years now?
I think it's 95.
It's 95. Okay, so maybe they've got 10 more. I couldn't remember if it was 100 or 90 because if it's 90, they're coming up on they've got 4 years. A character that's been around since 1939. There are traits that come into play. There is no such thing as the quote unquote definitive Superman. There are, if you ask people, they will tell you that this is their view of the definitive Superman. A lot of people will point to like the burn run post Crisis or leading up to Crisis. Some people will point to like the Superman the animated series, especially people around our age who grew up watching the cartoons and that. For some people, Zack Snyder's Superman was the definitive Superman. I wholeheartedly disagree, but some people that's what they think. To me, I loved that this Superman embraced kind of the corniness of the character and the naivete of who Clark Kent is. I mean,
Um,
when you meet Mon,
2034 is public domain.
so it is 95. So yeah, yeah, good call. I just couldn't remember what the actual length of time was now. But
Yeah,
anywho, uh, I digress. I just love that they brought that, you know, the trunks on the outside, uh the mannerisms of Clark Kent, like when he's just like, I'm punk. I listen to like these bands, and then she's like, that's like pop punk. Like that's not even punk. And just
no,
I
I love the conversation when the Justice Gang is fighting the big thing in the background, and they're like having this like heartfelt conversation, but where he's like he basically says something along the lines of like being kind and like saving people. That's punk rock. Like
yeah.
that's punk. I love that line because I'm like that encompasses this Superman. Like
Yeah. No, I
he's
mean even the
like
things of
he
like
thinks he's punk rock, but he's
yeah.
like he's just kind and saving people. Like
Yeah, his idea of punk rock is just being a good person.
yeah,
Even just the line of like, yeah, well, he's
which
not my dog.
essentially is
He's
punk rock. Like
he's kind of my dog. Well, he whatever. He's a dog. And right now he's out there and he's scared and he's alone and I have to find him. And that's just like the most like wholesome. This Superman just felt wholesome to me. I came home from this
yeah,
movie and I thought to myself driving home, I can't wait for like 2, maybe 3 years where I can really show my son this movie and say that's Superman, because I couldn't do that with Man of Steel. It
yeah,
was so dark, it was gloomy. It wasn't really a symbol of, just because he says this, to you it's an S, to me this stands for hope. It stands for hope, but your entire shtick was super bleak, dude.
yeah,
This Superman just feels like he's it felt like Superman to me. I was just excited to see what felt like Superman on this big screen. And again, I watched the movie and I walked out of it thinking to myself, it was a nice break. I don't feel like I have to sit there and now be like, okay, if they were to tell me that they made a Superman movie and that was it, they're not doing another one, and I don't have to sit and like watch for hints to the next thing or what references they're going to make. Don't get me wrong, I did. I'm a comic book nerd. Obviously, I sat there and any little throwaway they gave me, I gobbled it up like it was the popcorn in my bucket. I know what I am. I'm about that life. Uh but
Did I waste my life sitting through the post credits? Yeah, I did.
I didn't, just because I knew my wife was home by herself, and the text I got pulling into the movie theater was I'm never allowed to go to the theater and leave her alone with the kids again. So I was like, I should probably hurry back.
You didn't miss
And
anything, Ben.
also, I'm not gonna lie, when I was sitting in the theater, I did Google and I was just like, post credit scene, like, not to look up what it actually was, but just to be like,
Is
does
it
it
worth it?
relate? Does it
Yeah.
relate to any? Well, is it like I said, I had the conversation with someone at work today, and uh, shout out to Matt, he listens. I said it's gotten to the point, like with the Marvel movies, at times where like you sat through the credits for a 10-second teaser of Thanos looking down at the gauntlet and then looking up and smirking, and then it cut off and everyone lost their shit like it was the greatest 10 seconds of cinema anyone had ever seen. Like, I'm just sick
Yeah.
of needing to sit. Like, I'm so sick of it being this anticipation that you have. Not that the credits aren't deserved. Obviously, a lot of people work hard to make something and provide you with a couple hours of entertainment, and it's cool that everyone gets to get their recognition. It's more so the people, like the thought that you have to sit there and wait and wait and wait to get that little tidbit of what the next thing's going to be. And most of the time it was bullshit. It would be a 10-second
Yeah.
thing and it's like, "Oh my god." And now we all have to sit there and collectively lose our minds because they showed us a small snippet of not a movie that not even a clip from the future movie or really like a sneak peek, but just a little teaser picture of Thanos doing next to nothing. And it was like, "Oh, it's building." It was nice to just be like, "You know what? Eh, I looked at what the post credit scene was. I'm like, will I watch it when I can? You're damn right." But it's not really necessary. I appreciated that. Spoiler. Again, if you're listening to this and haven't seen the movie, shame on you. Stop it. Go watch the movie and come back. But I appreciated that the Supergirl tie-in intro thing wasn't a post credits. It was just part of the
Yeah, it was
movie.
just 2 seconds in the movie.
Yeah,
It
cool.
was
That
it
was
was
great.
funny.
Yeah, it was great. I was a fan. I loved the tie-in to Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow. I thought that was cool. I was like, awesome.
I mentioning Supergirl, I'm looking at the like list of films that have been announced, mentioned, whatever, and I'm kind of hype for this phase 1 or whatever, Gods and Monsters, whatever they're doing right now in
Yeah.
uh the DC universe, because a lot of directors and writers and filmmakers that are like I'm a huge fan of, and like uh I don't know much about Craig Gillespie. Looks like he did I Tanya, Cruella, Fright Night, the 2011 remake. But he's doing Supergirl,
Yep.
um, with James Watkins, who did Eden Lake, The Woman in Black, and Speak No Evil. Written by Mike Flanagan. He's doing Clayface, which comes out September of next year. Andy
Now,
Muschietti, who did It 1 and 2. He's doing The
and the
Brave and the Bold.
and the Flash.
We don't talk about
Whoa,
that one.
whoa,
Um,
whoops. No, I think it'll be interesting to see. What I'm curious to see is like with Clayface, for example, because they're going to let uh they're going to let the Batman movies run their course, which is
the
fine.
Matt Reeves
I
ones.
Yeah, I'm a fan of what Matt Reeves is doing. I'm very interested to see where he kind of goes from here. Do I think Robert Pattinson's Batman would be able to fit in the current DCU? I think he would.
I think he
Doesn't
would.
have
I
to,
mean,
but I
what's
think.
interesting is Matt Reeves is a producer on this Clayface movie, which is a part of the universe. So I'm like,
But is it? That's my thing. Is it that they're listing it as it, or is it going to be because they're treating Matt Reeves' Batman universe kind of as a Elseworlds thing? Is Clayface just going to be another Elseworlds type of movie?
maybe. It
Which is
seems like it's going to
fine.
be pretty horror
I mean, yeah.
fixated
Which, to be
with.
honest, I would be okay. I'm more okay with not feeling the need to have to shoehorn everything into to be part of the universe. Honestly, if when you put the DC logo up and you just this would be my pitch. Feel free to cut this. Um, but like they have the intro now where it's the Superman bursting off the chains and then it kind of spins into the old. It feels very like the 70s DC logo. Me personally, if it were a movie that were like not connected to the DCU, I would use the 90s DC logo, the kind of angled off to the side. I would do like just black screen, gray DC logo with Elseworlds underneath it, and then that would be the last thing before we go into it, and that way people just see it and they know, hey, this is an Elseworlds, which means it's not connected to the main universe. It's just a story we wanted to tell without needing to be locked into whatever canon. Cool. I am perfectly fine with that. Do it all the time in comic books. Totally fine. It's honestly the same way I feel about Batman. Matt Reeves' Batman isn't going to be connected. Cool. Do you know how many Batman titles there are? Well, I think right now there might only be like one or two, but usually there's Batman and then Detective Comics is running side by side. So it's like, yeah, it's just like having two different. It's like having a different writer and artist on a different series still tackling the same character.
Interesting. Um, Apparently, Mike Flanagan was supposed to direct Clayface, but because of his other commitments, he was unable to. Um, and so
Really?
then they also, yeah. So then he wrote the original screenplay, and then
Yeah.
Hossein Amini came in to write a new draft, and then James Watkin was hired to direct. But it still says it's going to be a body horror Hollywood story about a B movie actor who uses substances to remain relevant, but becomes made entirely of clay. And then I was reading about Brave and the Bold, um, which apparently they, as of February 2025, they hired a person to write the script with Gunn, and then Muschietti hasn't even started on the project because he's doing
From
something else.
Well, not just that, but I think from what I remember, I think according to Gunn as of late, they don't have a script fully locked in yet.
Yeah,
I think
they
he said
said that.
they're close. He said he's liked what he's read, but it's not like a final. They don't have a final thing yet. So,
And then apparently James Mangold, who has done Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny,
yeah.
Complete Unknown. He will be doing a gothic horror film for Swamp Thing. Apparently, we have Teen Titans coming up, Wonder Woman coming up, a Bane and Deathstroke film coming up. Uh, I'm kind of hype for Justin Kurzaketz. I don't know how you say his name. He wrote Challengers and Queer, which came out last year. And he I know him before that from. Have you ever seen the Potion Seller video on YouTube? It's like the guy with like the MacBook. He's like potion
Yes.
sellers. I need your fun.
Yes.
He's the guy who wrote those movies, but
I know, and you've
uh,
showed me the goddamn video like 4 times.
he's writing Sergeant Rock.
Interesting. I knew for a while Daniel Craig was in talks about doing that movie and
And he
coming in as
is,
like a
and
producer.
he's
He's
gonna
not.
star,
He's not.
and really,
Yeah, it's been announced he exited like a couple months ago,
uh,
I think.
well, I wonder if Colin Farrell entered negotiations to star in March, but production was halted by the end of April, reportedly due to uh, so they it might be Colin Farrell.
It would be fine. I mean, I think he'd be great. Would be fine. I don't. I
And then they
I
had
don't
originally
know
had
much
Luca.
about the character other than it was a. I know Joe Kubert through the books. That's about it. That's all I got. Flame me, nerds. Flame me.
You claim to be a comic book nerd?
All you know is the artist who drew the book? You fucking loser.
All I want in life is to personally direct Under the Red Hood, um, but also to have a live action Under the Red Hood movie. Whether I direct it or not would be fine. But that's all I want because I love that character. So that is
Don't know that you'll see it. I
probably
don't
not.
know. That's a lot to get through.
I feel like that whole like a death in the family under the Red Hood, like that's
It's
probably
also a
probably
lot
never.
because you have to sit there and then decide how much you want to go through. Do you want to go like what the cartoon and movies did, or how deep into universe are we going where Superboy Prime punches a hole through the time stream and then somehow brings Jason Todd back to life? How deep are we getting?
Like we
How
said, Ben,
deep you want to go?
you don't have to explain everything. Just explain just throwaway line.
Yeah. Oh, Jason, you're back. You remember how Superboy Prime punched a hole in the time stream, and then everyone's gonna be like, "Who the fuck is Superboy Prime?" I've been coming to DC movies for 20 years. We've never met this guy.
uh, um,
Yeah,
yeah.
key plot point of bringing someone back from the dead. Kind of hard to just throw away line that one away. A
Um,
little trickier.
I was a big fan of uh having Nathan Fillion as the Green Lantern, but not playing like Hal Jordan or whoever it is that's the typical Green Lantern that everyone
Which
knows,
is
being Guy
interesting
Gardner.
because if you would have gone back 20 years, people online clamored for Nathan Fillion to play Hal Jordan.
Hmm.
Since he was on Firefly, everyone looked at him and was like, "Oh my god, this is Hal Jordan. This is him." And then when they cast Ryan Reynolds and the movie came out and sucked, everyone was just like, "Oh god, why did we do this?" Nathan Fillion was right here. Kind of the same thing with what was it when he was what's the is it Nathan Drake in the
Yeah, in Uncharted.
Uncharted? Yeah, they were like, he'd be so perfect. He'd be perfect. He's the guy. And then they've decided to start making these movies, but they waited till Nathan Fillion's just he's not able to do a 10 movie or even, 3 movie 10-year action star quality
Yeah,
role. And it's just like,
I think
damn.
it was like Mark Wahlberg and Tom Holland or something.
Yeah. But it was just like, damn. All these roles Nathan Fillion was perfect for, and they waited. What's really interesting is that they're doing a Lanterns show, which is going to be really kind of focused on Jon Stewart
Yeah,
with Hal Jordan, but they didn't cast him as Hal Jordan in that. They cast him as Guy Gardner instead, which he was
was it
just
animated or
so.
live action?
It's gonna be live action.
Okay.
Um, oh, Kyle Chandler is going to be playing Hal Jordan.
Interesting. I like Kyle
Um,
Chandler.
and then Aaron Pierre is going to be playing John Stewart.
Hmm.
Nathan Fillion will be in it as Guy Gardner. He is coming back for it. I'm trying to think. Aaron Pierre, what all he was in. I hadn't heard of him. He played Malcolm X on the TV show Genius. He was in Rebel Ridge. He was in Brother. I don't recognize most of the stuff that it's listing him as, but um, I don't know. I'm excited for it. I'm looking forward to how that's going to be and what they're going to do with it. Uh, but yeah, they've got most of that. I think it's already in production. I would assume.
Yeah, I think it's supposed to come out early 2026. Will be 8 episodes.
Okay. Um. Damn. Damn. There's a lot of good names for people who are interested to, uh, or who are considered for Hal Jordan before Kyle Chandler was cast. Chris
Oh,
Pine would have been a great fit. Timothy Oliphant, big fan. Ewan McGregor. And the last one I would have been mad if they would have announced, and that's Matthew McConaughey. I'd have been like, no, don't do this. That's all wrong, all wrong, all wrong. You know what I mean?
damn it. I also see Josh Brolin.
I did not see that one on IMDb, but
It says he was off for the role.
I don't know. Glad he didn't take it.
I like. Look, man, it's cool. Whatever. I don't like it when they offer like the same five dudes the
No, I'm
role.
excited for Kyle. I'm a big fan of Kyle Chandler's acting. I think he's done great in different. I mean, I'm
But I'm
wrong.
saying
I loved him as
why
Coach
does
Taylor. I
Josh
thought
Brolin
he
doesn't? He's
no
not Hal Jordan.
no
Like
he's not even close. Even if you're
no,
going for
like
like an older Hal Jordan, it does not fit. But I'm curious to see with Kyle Chandler because yeah, I know kind of the like I said Friday Night Lights. But he also did that. Was it Game Night with Jason Bateman? Was like the
uh
comedy movie.
yes.
And he was more like the comic relief fuck up brother, and he was hilarious. I thought he was really good. I was like, I was not expecting you to be very good as the comedy character, but was awesome. So I don't know. I think it'll be good. I'm excited to see it. And one of the other big things I thought was really interesting about this movie was that I thought it was interesting to hire what I would consider to be relative unknowns
As
for
Superman
Pa
and
and Ma
Lois.
Kent
Oh
because I feel like,
yes.
well, I would say Superman for sure was an unknown for the most part. As someone again who would follow like comic book movies or things like that, people have thrown around David Corenswet's name ever since he appeared in what was it, The Politician, the Ryan Murphy show on Netflix,
Yeah.
and then he was in Hollywood, another Ryan Murphy show on Netflix. And as soon as that came out, people were like, I could see him as Superman. Like he would make a good super. And then once it was announced, everyone was like, "Oh yeah, no, we could see that. That definitely made sense." Uh, when Rachel Brosnahan was cast, I was excited. I
Oh,
am a
I've never watched Marvelous Miss Mabel, or Miss Maisel, so I do not know anything that she's been in.
see. My wife and I binged that show, and we absolutely loved it. So as soon as she was cast, I was like, "Oh, this is gonna be she." That makes sense. She will be good. Um, so I was happy to see that. Uh, Yeah, those two. So yeah, I mean, those two I kind of knew, but I kept waiting, especially right in the beginning when you kind of see Bradley Cooper come in as Jor-El, which, Jor-El, Bradley Cooper, Russell Crowe, and Marlon Brando, the three kind of main big screen. Weird that is such a big role for a character who literally
For like 10
most
seconds.
most of the time dies within a first 5 minutes of a movie.
Yeah.
Not really a lot there to bite into, but for some reason, big names. But I was shocked. I kept waiting to see. I was like, I'm wondering if we go to the Kent farm, like who's gonna be Ma and Pa Kent. And we got there, and I was just like, huh, huh. We really did not go big here. We kind of just kind of went with some, you know, not that they're like complete unknown. I mean, I recognize some of the stuff they've been in, but it wasn't like a big, huge, huge thing. But I thought that was cool. It made it feel more personal when he's back at the farm and he's talking to his parents. It made it feel more
Yeah.
down to earth and real than had it been the distraction of like, you know, Superman's raised by Kevin Costner. Like it doesn't really feel like Pa Kent. It's just watching Kevin Costner be Kevin Costner in a movie.
Yeah.
Um, one other thing I really wanted to well, there's a lot. I dug a lot about this movie. How
Now just
early
go, Ben.
on
You have the stage. Keep going.
how early on did you figure out who Ultraman was?
Not until they told it.
Whoa, really? Oh man.
Yeah, I was like, well, yeah, when they were like, oh yeah, it's a clone. I was like, what the fuck?
As soon as they
Like
went
when
to
they
the
pulled the
fort
mask off.
as soon as they went to the fortress, from the beginning I was like, it's really weird they're not going to show his face. And I was like, God damn it, this is going to be some bullshit where it's going to be a fucking clone or something. And then when they went to the Fortress of Solitude, I was like, yep, okay. Yeah, clone Superman. That's how when Lex is like, don't worry, we can get in. I was just like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, nope, DNA from Superman checks out. He's a clone. Which, again, has been a thing that they've done in different books and uh I think
Well, I saw
the
some
animated
people.
series
Isn't
did
it?
it too.
Is it Bizarro
Yes. Yeah.
that he like that? And people were kind of like, oh, is that gonna work? Is that where we're headed?
Which would be cool. If people are saying it like that, then fuck off. Don't come back. Leave it for the nerds. Beat it. Beat it, jocks. This is for nerds. Um yeah,
I just don't know. Like, I don't know much of like the Superman lore or anything. So like, I'm just like, like when your eyes kind of gloss over and like you're just like, like that was me the whole time. I was like, oh, Ultraman, sure. And then they're like, it's a clone. I was like, oh, that's fucking crazy. Whoa. Oh, here's Metamorpho. Who? I don't know.
Meta-
Sick. What? He joined the squad. He loves Justice King. That's awesome.
Metamorpho's a deep cut. Metamorpho was shocking that's where the bag they went into, but I was here for it.
that seems to be
I
I
will
feel like
say
James Gunn's
I would
MO
have
though.
I would have dug a little less on the I don't know if it was prosthetics or what for Metamorpho. I just wish we would have gotten a little bit more uh of oh my god, now I'm blanking on his name. Anthony Oh god, why am I blanking? Oh, and of course the freaking cast list is in order of appearance. It's gonna make things very difficult to find. um,
You've
oh
got it.
god,
You've got
Anthony
it.
Kerrigan found it. Just because I think he could have done a little bit. I I think his acting could have shown through a little bit more if he got to, I feel like, show a little bit more actual expression of his face. I feel like he was
Yeah.
very, very much buried under the prosthetics of what he was in. Um, that was one thing where I was like, man, I kind of wish you would have toned it back a little bit. He didn't need that much. He would have still been really good. Uh, yeah,
Oh yeah. Oh, I was gonna ask you if Maxwell Lord is the guy who funds Justice Gang.
Well, there is no Justice Gang, but that version of the Justice League is very similar to like the Justice League International, which was a series kind of in like the
But
80s and
he
90s,
is. I answered my own question here.
and he was kind of the financier behind that group, which is where Guy Gardner really kind of Guy Gardner's bowl cut shitty attitude was very much kind of that era of the character. He's kind of gone through a little bit more of a change to be a little bit more serious and less douchey. But in Justice League International, it's really cool because he mouths off to Batman, and then Batman hits him and knocks him out cold one punch. And it's a giant thing of lore. It's like everyone's just like, holy shit, one punch. Batman just took out Green Lantern with one punch. Um, yeah. I'm trying to think. I appreciated the kind of the little bit of bits and pieces that they kind of took from John Williams' Superman theme, kind of sprinkled in with some of the score throughout the movie. Also great.
You got
Um,
some
did you see
the
any of the
one song at
clips?
the end.
The behind the scenes, how they shot like the flying in that.
No, I didn't.
Oh God, I don't know if I can find it to like. It was literally almost like a. They had like a series of like screens around with like the background in that, and then they would
Yeah.
like film with like him like on like a rotary thing, and then they were like turning him. It it looked really cool, but also like something that also would have just made me like puke.
Yeah. Well, I was looking at I was watching something and people were like bitching because of the um like you know how like in these like superhero movies it's very popular to kind of do that like close up when somebody's flying, like a wide angle close up, cuz you're like trying to like depict someone flying at speed. And like somebody on Reddit was like, why does everyone use this shot all the time? And it's like it, because how else are you supposed to depict somebody going so fast? Like
Yeah,
that is like obviously like you know they were using like a still and everyone's like okay, but there's going to be motion blur and all that, like you're like you chose the worst frame. It's going to look like dog shit. Like yeah, the well the image looks worse than it is because it's on that like Trinity
yeah,
axis head, but like the spinning rig does look terrible, especially if you're like the stunt performer, like hanging on by like one arm. That looks terrible to be
right.
flung around.
Yeah, that one 100%. I was like, yeah, I'm out. Fuck that. I'm out.
It is pretty cool that like 360 LED screen though, or LCD screen, I guess. But the it was cool to see or are they stationary? I think they're stationary in this, and then the camera's just the thing that's moving. It looks like maybe.
No, there's
It's hard to
definitely
tell.
in one of the clips you can see the
Oh no, I see it now. Yeah, I see it now. They're spinning.
yeah.
They're just going slow, so it almost looks like one of the FPV drone that's going at the same time almost looks like it's it's spinning with it, so it almost looks like it's stationary. But um, it was cool to see like the arcade in Cleveland
Yeah,
in the movie, like seeing places where you've been in real life and being like, hey, I know. I
yeah,
love that when you watch like Transformers or stuff that's been shot into Detroit too, and it's like hey, I've been there. I know that. I know that spot.
yeah. I was supposed to go to Cleveland here in a couple weeks for the statue unveiling, and no, I don't get to go.
But it is cool. Like you said,
Uh,
the guys are from Cleveland, right? The guys who wrote Superman.
yeah, the two creators, Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster, are both from Superman. By the time this comes out, it'll be like later this week, I think. They're doing a whole big statue unveiling. The Siegel and Schuster like society group. They're like a fundraising charity group down in the area. I've been working for a long time to get a statue made of them with Superman. It's going downtown, kind of by the convention center area. Um, no, it's a really cool project, and excited to see it. Uh, Whenever I get the chance. Kind of a cool flex. I get to brag. My brother was the architect on the project for like all the landscaping and everything kind of in the area. So he didn't like design the statue or anything. They had like a professional sculptor in that did the sculpting in that for the statues, but he was kind of the lead architect on the project. So my dad's going down there the like second August 2nd. Um, but I can't go. So
Um, but it's cool that like this was shot in partially in Cleveland, and like a lot of the big exterior parts are in Cleveland. So it's like don't know if it was meant to be an homage to them, uh,
probably a
or
little
like
bit,
that like
and then
Metropolis is kind of based on Cleveland, but like it was kind of cool to like see parts and be like, hey, isn't that isn't that that's in Cleveland, right?
yeah, yeah. No, it was really cool. That was a cool thing and a cool kind of, even if it was unintentional, it was a cool kind of nod to do it there and have it be a part of that. Um,
And then of course, good old Atlanta, Georgia stages and studios. um, well, is there anything else, Ben?
I'm sure I could sit and talk about this movie for forever and all the cool stuff. Um, I'm was super excited, and I thought everything was really great. I thought everyone was phenomenal. I know I said Nathan Fillion was great. I know I said that they're gonna Mr. Terrific's gonna sell a lot of books. I thought Mr. Terrific was this.
Oh, stole the
He
show.
stole it. Yeah, he was phenomenal. Um, is it Edie? Oh, I can't remember how to pronounce his last name. Um, God, now I'm gonna feel like such a douche. Edie Gathegi?
Yeah, I think that's right.
Yeah, he will definitely be kind of the. I think he'll be the breakout of this movie, just because I think obviously Superman and anytime it's Superman, that's your breakout is also kind of the anchor of being known as Superman. Uh, but I think Edie Gathegi's did such a great job. He's gonna start. You're gonna start seeing him in a ton of stuff. Um, and I know we kind of talked about how good Nicholas Holt was, but I do want to just give him credit again that he was so believable, which is crazy to think that he auditioned for Superman because I couldn't see him as Superman.
No, no.
Even when they announced like he was in talks with it, I was just like, I don't see it. And then like Nicholas Holt's gonna play Lex Luthor, and I looked and I'm like, yeah, I can fucking see that. And then I saw the movie and I was like, yeah, that was nailed it. Absolutely nailed it.
Especially especially when you like see him like in costume with like the bald cap or whatever, or his head shaved or what. I'm like, fuck, he's Lex Luthor. like,
Yeah,
I'm looking
no,
at the image of them in the like going to the fucking Fortress of Solitude or whatever.
oh,
And
when he's like in the
like in
full
the fur
jacket and
coat with like
goggles.
the sun blockers. Yeah, I'm like, oh, God.
Yeah.
I loved this review on Letterboxd here, Ben. Um, and you can give me your thoughts, but it doesn't get more Superman than this. Cut from the same cloth as Sam Raimi's Spider-Man in the purest, most sincere and hopeful way. Genuine delight to my eyes. I'm smiling ear to ear typing this. In love with the lived in superhero world and with the way Gunn teases the future. I need the whole load now. Cornsweat and Brosnahan nailed it. That really is Clark and Lois. Lex Luthor might have stolen the show for me. Holt displays some of the greatest hating I've ever seen. Also, this is the one. Let's also talk about the Flash's cinematographer getting redemption. This film looks terrific. Say that again. The action is by far and away the best Superman action I've seen on screen. Is so dynamic and badass. I'm just grateful to be alive. It really has this Saturday morning cartoon charm that just works, and I can't wait to see it again and again because DC is back. I agree. As soon as I left that movie, I was like, I cannot wait to watch this movie again. I was like, I want it to be on Max because I don't want to pay to go see it in theaters again. like,
I told my wife, I was like, if you find someone to watch the kids and you want to go see this movie again, I will go see it again. She's like, I don't, yeah, it's not. I'm like, I will be just as giddy the second go round as I was the first time. I guarantee you. Uh, I just
this person
literally,
said,
just even like, I couldn't get over how good even like the all of the like secondary, tertiary. I thought Beck Bennett was great as Steve Lombard, the douchey sports reporter for the Planet.
yeah,
Um, I was really excited when they announced Wendell Pierce as Perry White because I thought he would be phenomenal for it. As soon as they made the announcement, I'm
okay.
like, that's great casting. I thought James Gunn's casting was just. I don't look at anything in that movie and be like, yeah, he maybe could have done something differently. I looked at all of it and I'm like, damn, he really fucking nailed every aspect of this. Which is, I don't want to sound like a hater, but when Zack Snyder's movies came out, there were several things where I'm just like, I don't know. I didn't really buy Amy Adams as Lois Lane. It just didn't really work for me. Kevin Costner's Pa Kent, I think in my head sounded good, but then when you're watching the movie, him being Kevin Costner kind of takes you out of it. And then you get to Batman versus Superman, where Jesse Eisenberg as Lex Luthor just didn't hit. It just didn't work. Um, so to see this from like step one, and it's just like even the small characters you barely see were just they were great.
Ben and I had never seen this film, so you're gonna get two fresh ratings from the Goob Squad. Uh, do you want to go first? Do you want me to go first?
You can go first. I'll wait.
Okay.
I'll,
Okay.
I'll I'll gush after.
Um, I really enjoyed this. I think you might be able to tell from just the episode that I don't know. It's fun, and it's fun in the way I feel like that we need right now. If I'm being honest, like this movie kind of gives you a little bit of hope, uh, and it's fun in like a wholesome way. Like I feel like Superman, and like I said, like I like this interpretation of the character of where he's like punk rock is saving people. Punk rock is being kind, you know. Um, and I think it looks so good. the action scenes, the flying, the fighting, um, the characters and makeup look good. Uh, like Ben said, everybody secondary, tertiary characters in the background. I'm like, everyone kills it, knocks it out of the park. The writing is good. It's humorous when it needs to be. It's serious when it needs to be. Uh, Characters fighting and going at each other is great. The back and forth between like Superman and Lex Luthor towards the end. Um, yeah, I don't know. It's a really good movie. And I cannot wait to see it again. And I hope you go see it in theaters if you have not seen it yet, because I think that's going to be the best way to experience this one. It's going to be good at home. It's great in the theaters. I'm gonna give this one a 9 out of 10. I loved this movie, and I'm not a huge superhero person. Like, I read some of the comics, and I like superhero like content, but like I don't know, like Marvel drug it for so long, and I'm just kind of like, okay, all right, I don't need to see Infinity War Part 3. Like, I like the one-off stories where I didn't need to see an origin story to get to this one. I didn't need to see like something like it's a self-contained Superman movie, and I like that.
Yeah, this movie, um, I think people will put this up there with Christopher Reeve's 78 movie is like the defining embodiment of the character in cinema. Um, it was light. There were, I mean, don't get me wrong, there were scenes that were, maybe darker in actual like tone and color, but I think for the most part, it was just a very bright, uplifting movie, and I think that's what Superman should be. Um,
Yeah, that's not to
I
say that he's not. It's not an intense movie. Like there's scenes where it's like, oh, Superman's gonna go down. Like,
Oh yeah. I will say that was the one I didn't say any specifics, but I was like the one thing where I was like maybe it would make it a little difficult to share with like my son in a couple years would just be the fact of like the scene where Lex accidentally shoots the guy in the head, thinking like it's not going to happen on the first try, and then just like fully kills the guy. Is like,
yeah,
might be kind of
it's
tough
it's a
to.
PG-13 movie.
Yeah. Um.
One of Supergirl's like three lines is bitch. So
Yes, I know Supergirl's also going to be. They're going to have to watch how they market Supergirl
yeah,
because I think based off the book that they're basing the movie off of, it is a lot more Supergirl's like a wild child. Uh
that's kind of what they pitch it. So
yeah.
at least in this movie,
Yeah. So we'll have to see. But anywho, um yeah, I think this people will think of this Superman as like a defining version of the character. And it's well worth it. I like what that letterbox review said where it kind of is comic booky to nature in the same way that Raimi's Spider-Man was, because it did feel when this in watching this movie, it felt like seeing a comic book come to life. I was so happy to see that we're okay embracing the goofiness that comes with being a comic book movie. You can do a comic book movie. It doesn't have to be feel like it's set in the real world. This movie
yeah,
felt like real world enough for me. None of it felt, it felt like these characters existing in what our world is, but it doesn't need to be grounded in this weird like everything has to be grounded in science or everything has to be grounded in this. There's no room for the fantastical because that's not what audiences want. It's like, no, that's actually 100% what I want. I want
yeah,
to just like this like the tagline for Superman 78. I want to believe a man can fly. And I don't need all this bullshit. Just give me Superman with a positive message. And I loved his message at the end where he's like, you hate me because I'm an alien, but he's kind of like, I grew up this. I'm just as human as anyone else. if not for the fact that I value humans more than humans do.
Yeah.
It was just like, damn, what a good, like, positive message. I loved seeing Superman even just rescuing the squirrel because he felt like he
Yeah.
had to.
That's one of the big news stories today is that test audiences hated the squirrel saving scene, but James Gunn put it back because he said it felt like it was missing.
I could
And I
see
was
it.
like,
I thought it was
that's
it was a cool thing to show that Superman values life and it doesn't matter.
yeah,
It's he values life.
yeah,
That's like even when they put like the bombs in that inside of the animal or whatever, and they kill it, and he's just like, I wanted to lure it away so we could try to study it
yeah.
and rescue it
Take it to
and
a zoo. Yeah,
yeah, you know, I thought that was just such a big thing to just be like, he values life no matter what, and he
mm,
wants to save everything that he can. He wants everything to be, which is awesome. I think that was such a cool thing to see and experience and have that be the lesson of the movie. I also had it at a 9 out of 10. I wish this movie was already out at a point where I could watch it at home again. Like I just saw it less than a week ago and I'm already like, man, I really want to see that again.
which might be why I wanted to watch Man of Steel, just to like fill that hole. But then I'm gonna be like, it's not as good.
It made me realize looking back on things of Man of Steel where I'm just like, I think I gave Man of Steel a bit of a pass when it was out just because it was Superman and I wanted superhero content, especially DC content.
Yeah,
And then I watched this movie and I'm like, damn, that's what Superman could have been. And I feel bad because I think Henry Cavill in a movie like that with that tone would have been also
yeah.
incredible. Like it sucks that that's what it was. Yeah, I
It'd be
loved it.
cool. I did read something where they were like, it'd be cool if they brought Henry Cavill back as like some form in the DC universe, but I feel like it might be
That's
hard for people to
tough.
kind of be like disassociate from Superman now. But
Yeah.
um,
Here's the
I
thing
don't know.
that you
It
have to
it
think about
does.
with the average moviegoer or the average person's understanding of that.
Yeah,
Take someone who you think is like of average intelligence. Think of that person. Now understand this is a Carlin bit. Now understand that half of the people are dumber than that person. So you can't just people are going to be like, why is Superman in this movie? I thought that other guy was Superman now. Who's this guy supposed to be? And there's just going to be it's not going to make sense.
yeah.
That's like
It does
Marvel's playing
feel.
with fire, bringing Robert Downey Jr. back to play someone else
Yeah,
because people are going to be like, "Wait, I thought this was Iron Man. What's going on with this?"
but isn't
Ugh.
I don't I'm not too deep in the superhero lore, but isn't there like some what if universe where Iron like Tony Stark becomes Doctor Doom or something?
I don't know enough about Marvel to know.
Uh, I thought I read that somewhere, and I'm like, I doubt they're doing
It's
that.
possible,
Like
but
if they're
I
doing, that's the problem with like some of this stuff. Is like, oh well, in this universe, especially with what if, where it's like, oh, there's this guy, and it's like, come on, dude, like,
no, I get the whole idea of the look. I get the idea of the multiverse. I like it in some aspects. Um, I think with Marvel, once you finish Infinity War, I think their biggest mistake was that after that they needed to go to solo stories for a while.
they
People
tried to
are
jump right back in, and then their Kang, um, is a terrible person, and,
well, it's
and
not
then
just
they
that.
really shot themselves.
It's just look, Iron Man came out in '08,
Oh wait, yeah,
'08, and Incredible Hulk was also '08. Both in the same. They both came out like a month apart from one another. You started building this thing like almost 20 years people have spent like building through this thing. As soon as it's done, you started another one and you expect people to just be like, yeah, I'm okay spending another 20 years invested in this. They're not. They're not going to be. That's again, I if we have solo movies that introduce these different characters in the DC universe and it eventually tells a Justice League movie, great. Cool, that's awesome. But I don't need each movie to tell part of a story that's going to build the next one.
Yeah.
I'm okay with letting the movies tell their own story and being done with it. And that was one of the reasons I love this movie so much. It got
Yeah,
done
if you
and
want
I
to
was
throw in, if you want to throw in like one little character to build, that's fine. But don't make it where I
I thought
have
that
to
yeah,
watch
I thought the
every.
Supergirl inclusion was great. Now, do I feel like if I see Supergirl, will I be completely out of the loop because I didn't see her 30-second clip in Superman? No.
Yeah.
No, which is cool. Make it a thing that feels like an Easter egg. People who don't watch Peacemaker but saw John Cena they might not have really cared or gotten it, but people who were invested in that and saw it, it's a cool Easter egg thing. Let it be that.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, the characters on the mural inside of the Hall of Justice. You think I didn't peep Wildcat, Jay Garrick, and all the other guys on that wall mural? No, I fucking did. And you bet your ass when the Blu-ray comes out, I'm gonna pause that shit, frame by frame
Mm.
it, so I can see who all was in there. All right? I get it. I'm gonna do that. But if it doesn't lead anywhere, am I gonna be mad? No, because it was a cool Easter egg to include. I don't need more.
Uh, one just one last thing that I was gonna say was like, I'm not the biggest like in the like Superman. Like I said, like I like if they did it under the Red Hood movie, I'd be set before the movie even started. But like it must be really nice for like you who is a fan of Superman and that sort of stuff, where like this is what it feels like when you get a good adaptation of this media that you've been reading since you're a kid. And like it gives me the same feeling of like when I read Harry Potter or like when I watch the Harry Potter movies and I'm like, this is a very good adaptation of these books that I hold and I cherish. And like those are a little different because they came out like you know, as the movies were coming out, like or as the books were coming out, they were like doing the movies at the same time. So it was like you didn't have that 30-year gap or whatever. But uh it does feel good like, oh, this thing that I've been reading and watching for or reading like for 10 plus years, and here's a good interpretation of it and one of
Yeah,
the best so far. Like,
I mean, as a Batman fan, it's nice because you get those movies have been coming out consistently since. I mean, I think what the longest gap was 97 to '05. So I mean 8 years.
yeah.
Um so
And
there's
none of them are, well, most of them aren't bad.
yeah, don't get me wrong. There's ones that I like more than others and things that, I didn't. Man, this is going to catch me a lot of flack if I say what I'm about to say.
Oh, it's going in the episode. It's definitely going in here. Whatever you're gonna say, I'm just here to stir the pot.
I don't really like the Nolan trilogy that much.
They're good movies.
I love Batman Begins. I think it was great. I loved it felt like, even though it wasn't like my favorite interpretation of Gotham, it felt like they made Gotham City kind of a character. It had a distinct kind of feeling and vibe. Um, I thought Christian Bale, I get him not being able to turn his head was kind of similar to what the old movies were, but making it that it was like the cave diving suit or whatever and grounding it, I was okay with. I thought he looked physically imposing in that first movie. I thought The Dark Knight, it's a good movie.
Yeah.
It's a great thriller movie, but I don't know. I didn't think Christian Bale was that great in it. I didn't like the batsuit in it. It looked kind of clunky and unnatural to me. Heath Ledger was great as the Joker, but he wasn't to me what I want Joker to be, and that's just a personal thing. But that's just not. I don't view him as this war paint anarchisty kind of character. That's just not. Look, when I think of Joker, I think of the very much the Denny O'Neil, Neil Adamsy 70s, 80s Joker. That's just what I view as the character, and which is fine. That's just my view on it. I thought Dark Knight Rises was. I think it sucked because everyone viewed the Dark Knight with such reverence. This is also hot takey. Uh, I think if Heath Ledger doesn't die before that movie comes out, I don't think it's as beloved as people have it as. I think people I think people give credit to his performance but would have more critiques of what his Joker was if he didn't die before the movie came out.
It's fair, I think.
I that's just my thing. I think that when he died before the movie came out, it was like, well, people will say, like I say, it was like, it was a great performance, but I think some people aren't afraid or are just not willing to just be like, but it wasn't really what I think of when I think of the Joker, personally. I said Dark Knight Rises, I thought was a very unsuccessful, like, not that it was bad, it unfortunately had to follow the other two, and it just didn't live up. Um, yeah, I think I think they're good movies. I also don't necessarily think, to me, I don't enjoy rewatching them that much. I'll rewatch the '90s movies more than I will the Nolan trilogy. I do. I can tell you straight up. I've rewatched the '90s trilogies or the '90s just trilogy. I always skip Batman and Robin. Uh, but I've definitely watched those multiple times since 2012 when Dark Knight Rises came out, and I think I've not rewatched Dark Knight Rises. Should I think I rewatched The Dark Knight for the first time in like it was like a couple years ago.
I think Dark Knight Rises is also the weakest one of the
It
three, in my
is
opinion.
100%. Yeah.
Uh, um,
So sorry,
because
I'm
yeah,
gonna
like you were saying,
put that out there and
Batman
just get.
Begins is really good. Honestly, I think Batman. I don't know. Batman Begins might be better than the Dark Knight, in my opinion, as far as like Batman goes. Um, but
It's a better
yeah,
Batman
I mean,
movie. The Dark Knight is
yeah,
probably a better movie, but
Oh
Batman
yeah,
Begins is a
it's
better
it's the same
Batman
argument I
movie.
make with like Harry Potter. Prisoner of Azkaban, best well-made movie with Alfonso Cuarón as the director. Is it the best Harry Potter movie? No. The second one is. But that is neither here nor there. Um, yeah. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to rate and subscribe. Check us out on Instagram at Cocktails and Classics Pod. Listen to our other episodes. We did the original Superman movie with Christopher Reeves a long time ago.
While ago,
It's
almost a year,
probably
probably.
a year. I was gonna
Yeah,
say, yeah, probably like a year.
between 6 months and a year. I don't know.
Um, but you could go listen to that if you want some more. If you want some more Superman,
Yeah,
we
and if
could
you
do
wanna,
more superhero movies.
and if you guys want to just flame me for my hot superhero takes, do us a
Oh,
favor
please, yes.
and at least like follow us on a social media before you do it.
Hey, yeah, follow us on social media. You can comment over on Instagram or YouTube or Spotify even. You can roast Ben in the comments there.
And you know what? I might even read them.
you might get Ben to respond.
Oh man. Ooh.
That would
Old
be
man.
beautiful if
Old,
if
old
people
man
just
yells
roasted
at
you enough to.
clouds.
I'm just gonna get a bunch of Russian bots to flame you.
Bunch of monkeys. Bunch of monkeys with super intelligence. This Ben guy
but
sucks.
who gave him a mic?
Who lets him speak?
Yeah, over a year ago. It was April 2024. But
Wow.
yeah, yeah. If you want to get more superhero content from us, let us know in the comments.
I have a
We'd
great
be
set of
down to watch
Batman's.
anything.
I have a great set of Batman serials that are, but not the racist one. We'll do the second one.
Not the one where he hates the Japanese.
No, no, we'll do the second one. That's Batman.
Uh,
We'll do Batman and Robin, the
uh,
1946 version. Maybe 49. I can't remember.
Leave a review wherever you listen and a rating. That really helps us out. And as always, watch responsibly.